Now, in my personal opinion, and I've done a little bit of research, but I am no PhD or anything, society is your own reality. In what you think everyone else knows and what you know in yourself. Yes, I'm getting some really weird looks. I like Alice in Wonderland. But I see things from a different point from you. Like right now, I'm looking at all you guys, thinking that there's a few people listening, and I know there's a few people on their phones. And then I'm also thinking...
I'm listening though. This is a...
Now, there's also probably someone out there right now with a lot of the same cultural norms as me, getting blind drunk in the bar on some cheap beer. But we're going to have some different realities. There's also probably someone at home doing the homework I should be doing at this moment.
Same here.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, if society is what we perceive as the cultural norms and society becomes one. So, if you think of it as your own reality and your own knowledge, I think of it in a sense as a web. Your own box, web of knowledge, of things you know, of things you can talk about, your own experiences. It makes up who you are. Now, the thing is, to get a society, it's you, but then other people's webs layered on top. So if you do that, one person thought, this is how I'm going to define society. Everyone's knowledge jammed together. You get this. This doesn't work. So one smart person, whose name I can't remember, said, what if we make it into a stars group? Every time knowledge overlaps, or intersects, or there's a point where, say, I've seen the Grumpy Cat videos, and someone else has seen the Grumpy Cat videos, this is given a power of 1. And then if another person comes along and says, I've seen it too, it's given a power of 2. And suddenly you've got these numbers of knowledge of what things are seen as much bigger in society and things are seen lesser in society. Then you organize these stars into lots of little different parts. And you figure out what information versus how much power it has is the most prevalent in society. And you come up with society being something like this. Major things we know, the major assumptions. Like one of the old major assumptions was, if you don't kill me, one of the old assumptions was that if you have a female genitalia, you are female. But that is not a normal assumption anymore. There are people who are female because that is who they are, not because of what they're born to be. So that assumption would be dying down because a new assumption would be taking its place. Or you've got, say, this assumption here saying cats are fucking amazing. And then you've got the dog lovers here being like, no, dogs are better. And you have these assumptions vying for prominence in society. And then you've got assumptions like, don't burn your house down. Maybe this one here is, eating food is good. Here, say in Jakarta, don't drink tap water. That's an assumption, but it's not very big because not many people that are expats know not to drink the tap water until, you get dysentery and blah, 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 blah. Don't do that. Don't drink tap water. Don't use it for brushing your teeth and things like that.
Oh yeah, tap water in China, 40-degree temperature, I have to go to hospital.
Yeah. Crap.
Hospitals are also gross in China, so go there.
Yeah, so don't drink the water.
Country.
And then you've got the tiny little assumptions out here, which could be hundreds of thousands of people, but it could be something like Gangnam Style. Like people know that, and you can talk about it. Then you've got a tiny little dot over here, which is like, oh, Harry Potter. People know and can talk about Harry Potter, so it becomes a part of society. Then you've got these outliers here, which aren't really necessarily connected to the middle, but is still kind of prevalent in, what you're talking about in your society, without being connected. So you can't connect, say knowledge about STI or STD prevention. You can't really connect that with Harry Potter. Or you can't really connect it with, I love cats, because that would just be weird.
Cats is the biggest one.
Yeah. So you've got all these little bits out here, which are kind of knowledge which some people have, but is prominent in society that becomes a thing of it. Now, Don't worry, I'm almost done. If you're getting bored, I'm sorry. The dual relationship between society and culture. If one person says, hey, look at this song, it's called Friday, it's the worst thing ever, and then more people watch it, and more people watch it, and more people watch it, there's something which was just a little part of your culture, your personal culture, becomes a big part of culture. And if it's a big part of culture, becomes a part of society. And then society will be like, any new people joining the society will make it so that they know this song. And then it comes back up here, and then it becomes an actual part of society. Now, if you, in a society, and it's like, yo, in this society, you need to read Harry Potter, because Harry Potter's great. It means that anyone trying to change the culture and say, I don't want to read and watch Harry Potter, will have to go through the entire society norms, break them apart, and then build a new culture where it's okay to not read Harry Potter. And then that change which they do through society, leading to another culture, will lead to a change in society. It's a complete two-wheel link. So there's two ways to think of this. Every footprint you leave on a beach will be washed away in a matter of seconds, or the wind will blow it away in a few minutes, leaving nothing behind. Common knowledge. Now think of it like this. The Earth has to move its tectonic plates, evaporate water, be affected by the moon's gravitational pull and sun's energy to erase even one of your footprints on the beach. Society normally thinks of it as in, soon there's going to be nothing left.
Shouldn't it be affect?
Let's not be grammar Nazis.
When did it become okay to refer to Nazis as something in a more light-hearted tone?
6 years ago.
Yes. If we want to make it so that instead of being like everything will be left behind, instead of every little thing you do can cause a big change or has to be moved by big things. It's the same exact thing that's happening, but from two different points of view. That is the difference in many societies I've seen. In our small society of ANU, it's more prevalent to think of bigger picture things and things moving around. While in lots of other societies I've been in, it's easier to think of things in a small scale time. It's just how different people think. Now, so my kind of semi-conclusion of my own opinion is, you are culture. You are what makes culture. And you can be the change. Had to throw in a really lame thing. If you want anything to change in society, if you want anything to change in your culture, remember you are always putting the little bricks in to make society and culture. If you change what you do, or you express what you want to do, you can be that little bit of change. Instead of putting down red bricks, you could put down blue bricks. Instead of putting bricks down, you can put down glass. Just everything you do is culture. But you've got to remember, you are not the only person. And there is a huge tidal wave of old things being like, yo, you have to know the Rebecca Black song. You've got to look at, Prime Minister and Budgie Smugglers. You've got to, like, clean your mugs. You've got to do things like that. So you've got all this old knowledge behind you. And you've got all these other people trying to do maybe something different from you. But if you get lots and lots of people on your side and they're playing a lot of the same bricks as you are, slowly you can kind of overturn the knowledge. And every single second, every single thing you do adds to this culture and this society. I just think that's amazing. Because if you look at the web, there's so many different dots, there's so many different parts of knowledge. Every single person, every single thing you do, what you think, what you say, can change someone's life. Or it can change your own life. It can change a tiny bit of society. Or it could enforce what is already there. If I went back to Abu Dhabi, I would wear a crop top. I would probably be pulled over by the police. But for 5 minutes, I would be showing people I am not afraid to wear a crop top.
You also look crazy right now. Like you've got that look in your eyes.
This is
I'm the dictator! Right?
I'm just kind of passionate about this. The fact that we are tiny. little things on our phones. And we can, even in smallest different ways, we can cause a ripple effect. I've changed people's lives. People have changed my life. I don't know what would have happened if I didn't meet these people, or they didn't affect me, or if I didn't read that sign one day saying, if you go to ANU, you're guaranteed to at least have a place to stay for your first year. My life would be completely different. I would probably be in Queensland right now, and not giving... I didn't mean it like that. Queensland would be an awesome opportunity too.
It's the home of Campbell Newman.
But-
No place housing that man can be good.
But just kind of think about it. Have you ever talked to someone and blown their mind, as you say? Or just realized something when talking to someone, or gotten a great idea when talking to someone? Every single second you do something. Every single second you could be changing something and making it better or worse or anything. There's so many possibilities. And society and culture is just what you want to build with them. There's tidal waves and huge monuments to what used to be. But we're changing them every single second. And that's the end of my lame speech. Yay. Any questions? Yes?
You're right to become patient. So there's this entire theory throughout all Enlightenment thought that history is somehow tending towards one final answer for all of society. It's prevalent throughout Marxism and all sorts of weird, wonderful ideologies.
Wait, are you saying I said this or someone else said this?
Someone else said this. Many
Okay.
people have said this throughout history. 18th century all the way through to Fukuyama like 20 years ago. They're all suggesting that somehow society and history are all tending one way. That would mean that, in fact, you can't do anything about it, you cannot change society, and in fact, you're just a simple cog tending towards this big thing that the rest of the world is tending to as well. What do you say to that?
That's a possibility. I have no freaking clue what's going to happen.
Max
All I
Weber
know
would-
is that, you know, different things have affected me and different things have affected other people. If that is what's going to happen, if we all get into this singularity, kind of, and if globalization makes it so that the entire world has a social norm, then I can see that happening. But at the same time, the world is such a huge place and there's so many different people, and there's so many different chance encounters and things like that. So that's a possibility. I just don't know. But I think that's what's kind of cool about it.
It's more to your point of the idea that somehow we have a choice in what's going on.
Well, yeah, we do, because none of them said what that singularity is.
Well, they did, they all thought they were right.
No, but that's the whole point, that there is a directionality, yes. I mean, it's like the whole Russell Peters joke, I'm not sure if you've ever
I've seen most of
Yeah,
it.
stand-up comedian, you know, there's a billion Indians, at some point everyone's going to just be beige.
I totally mentioned that this morning. I mentioned that this morning and we were discussing it. We were discussing how everyone could be beige but there would still be racism.
No, naturally, they're like,
Yeah.
look at this, there's classism, racism becomes classism, things like that, that's the nature.
Classism is
That's the
advanced
nature,
racism.
that's human nature, is to organise yourself into groups, and then you go into Reynolds number, where
Yeah,
social
lots of
connections.
original
Blue eyes, green. Was it the blue eyes, brown eyes experiment? Has anyone heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, like, people can, you know, distinguish and discriminate on the most arbitrary or non-existent eye colours existed. But you get my point. Like, people
Wait,
can
was
be
green
dis-
eyes?
I think the only reason you're allowed to discriminate on is political ideology, because that's something you pick.
No, but
That's something you deserve to be
then you're
discriminated
completely throwing
Any
out human
other
nature.
questions?
Any more questions for Hannah?
Guys, any more questions, or do you want me to do any of the stories, or I can tell you later?
Alright, no questions.
Okay.